Yeah, because even what you just said right there was really good.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, ooh, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Okay. So, Sheldon, I really appreciate you taking this Zoom call with me today. And as my mentor in real estate, getting started, I'm just really grateful that you took time out of your day. I know you have a fantastic, unique, special listing that's coming on the market today, and you're a very busy guy, and you've been rooted in the industry for many, many years. I mean, you were born into it. It's one of the reasons why I chose to partner with you and come in and be on your team, is because of your professionalism, because of your history, and quite honestly, because your roots are here in my community in Elk Grove. And I've watched you know, what your family has done in business, and then to see you up and come up, and you know, going to attending the local high school and everything. You really have a great sense of the community where I live and work, and that was a huge selling point. Also, because the fact that when I went into school to take my classes, and I really started learning early on that I should start investigating, who do I want to go to work for? Where do I want to hang my license? I mean, out of the gate, I wanted to be a broker, right? So I need 2 years. I mean, when I read everything and I figured it out, I'm like, I want to be a broker. So 2 years as a real estate agent, then I could become a broker. So I really thought I had my plan in line, and I kind of hung my license right away. I got a lead my first day being licensed, and so I panicked and I hung my license with the person who had sold me a house, and I really hadn't had the time to further research. And so I just really appreciate the fact that you took this call and stuff. And I kind of want to help other agents maybe that are going through their licensing right now, that were wanting to get into this career. And man, in light of this whole COVID-19, right, we have no control over what's going on around us, really, our environment, what comes our way. But we do have a control and of how we're going to respond to that. And so, you know, it was one of those things too, your resilience. And I know you saw that in me, and I saw that in you, and in your family, and just things like that, that I wanted to persevere and keep pushing ahead. I didn't look at this as an obstacle, or, oh my gosh, I just get into real estate and now everything shuts down. I was like, no, I'm going to pull up my bootstraps. And this is what I heard about. I heard about people back in 2005 through 2008, and people jump into the market and get out of the market. So I really want to encourage agents, because if this is what you want to do, then nothing can stand in your way. And this is what I want to do. There's not a shutdown, a COVID-19. There are still people that need to move into a house. They need to sell a house. They need to downsize. We've got graduations. Families are growing. Life still happens all around us. And I'm not going to let the state of affairs dictate that these people just have to sit there and panic or be anxious or worried or not have anyone to help them. So I just want to thank you for taking time to do this. And I'm hoping that in a series of things that we can kind of encourage people that are currently taking tests, or I should say taking the classes, right? There's a lot of people, I think you have people even ready to take the test.
Yeah.
The licensing.
And I've heard rumors that they could be opening back up next month. So hopefully that happens.
Wouldn't that be amazing? So like, I just really want to encourage people. I'm a motivator by default, I guess. I was just born this way. I like to encourage and motivate other people to do well. And that brings me such joy. And I really, you know, I'm looking to help people that really want to do it. I'm also here to kind of lay it out. This is not a get rich quick scheme to get into real estate. It's really not. And I think some of those reality TV shows and people thinking that real estate agents driving around in nice cars showing fancy homes to people, that this is the day in the life of. And I mean, you could probably speak to that. That's not what it's all about, is it?
No, it's a more of a get rich slow kind of thing. And it's, you know, I say that kind of tongue in cheek too, though, but it's, you know, it's work. It's just flat out work. And you're going to get out of it what you put into it, just like most everything else in life. You know, first of all, I should probably circle back though and tell you thank you. You're making me feel a little too good about myself there for a minute. But no, and that's exactly it. Like, and you mentioned even right now with us being in you know what you definitely call unprecedented times. You know, it was the same thing back in 2006, 2008, right? It was pretty unprecedented what we went through at that point. But you know, your longevity is in this business comes through being able to adapt. Kind of like you said, right? It's seeing what's happening and adjusting to it quickly. And if you can do that, you're going to be able to survive. I mean, how we did business back in 2004, 2005 was drastically different than what we did in 2008. You know, and today it's drastically different than what we did then. So it's, you know, it's being nimble, being able to adapt. And it's kind of like the old Gretzky saying, right? You want to skate where the puck's going to be, not where it is now.
Right, right. Absolutely. You know, I couldn't agree with you more. And that was one of the reasons why I kind of looked at this as, because I'm a person of faith as well as you. And I look at it as, you know, God goes before me and prepares the way. And as with anything, even if you're training physically, right? You're doing, you're training for an endurance race. You have to put the time in, you have to put the miles in. There's the training and conditioning phase. And a lot of times that comes with discomfort and it comes with growing pains, whether that's, you know, trying a marketing campaign that doesn't work well or things like that. But the bottom line is I had been in, and I still am licensed and in as a licensed insurance agent as well. And talk about unprecedented times. I mean, open enrollment is still going on right now. I literally thought with my health insurance business, I would be able to shift gears and really focus 100% on real estate for my clients, of course, right? So I have a large group of individuals and businesses that I help with their insurance needs. And then now that has extended. So I'm really expanding my service to do that and to help them with real estate as well. But what I learned from the insurance business was we saw the writing on the wall. The prices kept going up, 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 up. And pretty soon people couldn't afford to pay those prices anymore. And they just said, hey, knock on wood. I've got wood back here. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to, you know, self-insure. Hopefully nobody gets sick, you know, and that's no way to live and no way to do things, right? And then Medicare had these programs where they put everything all. So what was happening is insurance agents that have been doing it for years, there's a lot of change. A lot of them got out of the business. Well, we pulled up our bootstraps, Incomes Covered California, and we were already online. You know, I talked to my dad. He's been doing this. He's 76 years old school. He likes the paper copies. I'm like, no, we need to get online. We were one of the first ones to get online, do online quoting. Instead of having to send something off to a carrier, wait 3 days to get it back via fax, we were doing everything in real time. And that really put us in the driver's seat for being ahead of it, for being able to adapt, like you said, and being able to not be, you know, there after the play is made, but be there in anticipation of the next play. Yep. And that's what soars you right up to the top. And it really opened up my mind to say, you know, insurance is not what it used to be for me. I can do it. And I love helping people, but it became an online business. It became more of just phones and enrolling and data entry and stuff, but that relationship building and I wanted to give my clients more. And I've always loved real estate. I personally experienced a setback back in 2005 through 2008 because I didn't fully understand everything there was to understand about refis and the market and all of that. And so I had a crash course and I was the example. And I just said to myself, you know, like I said, God goes before me. I used that as preparatory work for wanting to understand and get into this business and help other people. Right now, I think, Sheldon, there's a lot of people who are in fear of, and it's a valid fear, right, of losing their homes. How are they going to make their mortgage payments?
Yeah, it's gonna get interesting. And you mentioned kind of a few things there. And the biggest thing is obviously everything you do, you're coming with a mindset of service first. And that's, obviously something that I've noticed and love about you is that it comes from, what can I do to help first, right? That's the first thought in your head, no matter what it is,
Sure.
which I love. But yeah, no, you're right. And some of what you've been able to take from that insurance industry does directly correlate to what's, going on in real estate is, you're just seeing this assault of technology of, how can we just, infiltrate the real estate industry. And, to a degree, right, that used correctly can help agents leverage and make things a little more efficient. But there's nothing in my mind that's still that relationship type aspect of the business is never going to be able to be replaced. It just can't.
Right.
And, so going forward, things are going to be a little different, but that relationship aspect is not going to go away.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, and that's what really attracted me to it. And quite honestly, I just want to let you know as well, your sister had referred me to you, and I had known you through business relationships and stuff. And so I know that as an agent, relationships are important. Having those established ahead of time is good. So we're in an industry where we know other people in business and in real estate. I really look at this kind of like, sharing the good news, right? From a faith standpoint, if I don't share the EXP Realty opportunity with people, then I've really done them a disservice. There must be something that it's like having free money to hand out to people. I don't know how to explain it any other way. And one of the reasons I was really attracted to listening to the program and everything was your platform. So first of all, a relationship with you, yes, that was great. But the EXP platform of being online and having this online brokerage, because I had already closed my insurance office and worked from home, like cutting costs and stuff. We have to really be diligent on, again, being ahead of the game and not being there after the play is made. And while I do believe that there is a time and place to meet in businesses and in offices and things like that, it might not be right out of the gate for people. And a lot of people just maybe easing into it. Maybe they've got kids at home or different things. But no matter what, look at this, stay-at-home orders. You have to be at home. Well, guess what? We're already online. When other agents were scrambling to figure out how to do this, right?
Yeah, no, everybody else out there is trying to figure out, oh no, what do we do? How do we build this? We need to do it now, where we were literally built for this. But you mentioned a couple of things and I keep scribbling down my notes, and that's kind of the genesis of the EXP model, right? It's, hey, any cost associated with the real estate brokerage that does not provide immediate value to your clients is got to be stripped out.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly it. So, does the $75,000 a month lease add value to your client? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. So, and then that kind of segues back to the opportunity part of it. And, the more I grow and the more I think about it, I'm like, I think opportunity might be one of my favorite words in the English language, because you don't realize how valuable it is until you don't have it. And that's just kind of segueing back again to the model aspect of things is, every other model out there is broker centric, right? It's structured and created to benefit the broker. If there happens to be an OP, a regional director, or, ultimately up to the person that owns that entity. Whereas this is 100% agent centric. The company itself, right? It's owned by the agents. It's an agent owned brokerage. So completely unlike anything else in that aspect. Obviously I was a broker, right? I had my own independent brokerage, and guess what? That was built to make me money off of other agents.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, that's the way it goes. But this model is completely different in the sense that it provides, every single individual agent that same opportunity of owning their own brokerage. It's just in this model, you don't also inherit that broker liability and the capital risk of developing it. So in that aspect, it's like nothing I've ever seen.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is when I understood it and it was explained to me, I was like, well, my gosh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to build a team. I wanted to encourage people. I wanted to help people and refer people. And it doesn't matter where you live or whatever. Let's use our connections and let's help one another. And I was thinking I was going to have to wait 2 years to be able to do that. And here I can do it right out of the gate.
Which I'm still going to encourage you to get that broker's license. It's good to have, but just the process of going. The process of going through it is great. But and that's where I was, right? When I was doing the brokerage, it was like, really digging down into the numbers and aspects of things. I kept things really mean and lean because it was like, hey, if I ran a crew of 5 to 8 agents, it was going to make me just as much money if I scaled it and went to 40. Right. So because what you have to do is then all of a sudden, right, liability goes through the roof. Your time disappears. And then you've got to build the back end on things. And that's, I was at a point where I was craving growth and it's like, okay, so how do I do this? Like, if I want more, how do I do this? And every time it was, dissecting it down, it just came back to, having to spend ridiculous amounts of money and time to build the back end of things. And so when this was presented this opportunity, it was like, boom, light bulb went off. I get it. And now it gives you that opportunity to have this expansive growth without having to worry about the headache of that side, right? So I can spend more of my time on the money generating activities. And, right now, for the most part, for me, that considers, obviously, I still have my production business, but the other aspect of it is just, contributing back to agents, right? Anything we can do to help them grow. And it's that whole, growth through contribution type mindset. But, like now, for instance, I've got an agent in Florida and a couple more coming on out there. And it's like, that never was a reality beforehand. I mean, for me to, be based here in California, set up satellite, teams and offices in Florida, I mean, the headache would have been not worth it, simply. And now, operating as one brokerage nationwide, I mean, my goodness, opportunity is everywhere. And then, of course, as we now are expanding into, we're in Canada, the UK, Australia,
international,
Mexico coming, South Africa. I mean, so, the opportunities to use those existing relationships and the sphere of influence and grow that and utilize it. Like I said, there's no other
the limit.
word out there that I know of.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate your time and helping with this. And I don't want to discount what other agencies and other realtors are doing. I know that everyone that I have met or come in contact with in showing properties or holding an open house, I'm excited and thrilled to be a part of, at least my experience here in California, is a great group of professional realtors and the Sacramento Association of Realtors, and just it's a quality group of people, and it's a neat business to be in. And so when I look at the agencies and the things that they're doing, and like when you said the $75,000 lease or whatever, right? The brick and mortars type deal. I think, quite honestly, what happens for a lot of people is that aren't in real estate. I mean, you were born and raised in it, right? So, and my dad way back when was really involved in buying houses and rentals and things. So I had a taste of it as a kid. I think what happens is not everybody knows right? Not every consumer really understands it and gets it. So it's one of those things of, like on the insurance side, they just open up the phone book and they look for Anthem Blue Cross because that's the name they heard. So they're driving by and they see, you know, one of the big names up there, and they walk in, and right, those are like, what do you call, those are like your gifts when they walk in and say, hey,
Yeah.
I'd like to buy a house in your town, right? And there was no a relationship built beforehand or anything like that. And so I don't want to discount any of that. At the same time, in light of the way that things are going today, just with this COVID-19, I believe with my whole heart, because I watched in the insurance industry where people weren't even going to give you a social security number that I had to key in order to get them health insurance. People didn't have, you know, I don't have an email. I think today that you have, because people need social interaction, you have people that before said they would never go online, they would never conduct business or do business that way. And because of the state of affairs today, they're now doing it. There's risk in everything. There's even risk, you know, putting your money into a what is it, the ATM machines, right? But this is the way business is. So whether you like it or not, this is the forum. And if there's something that we can do to help our clients by cutting costs, I look at it and I want to just equate it to anyone watching. You can probably understand it from an insurance standpoint. I'm always going to go there to do some of my analogies, because everyone basically has health insurance, whether it's Medi-Cal or you got it through your employer or whatever. There's a premium that's paid each month for that health insurance. When you look at an HMO model, or for example, say Kaiser is very big here in California. Those physicians, they work for Kaiser. Kaiser's like the broker. So they get to be a physician every day, and they get to go in and treat and see their patients, and they don't have to worry about liability insurance. They don't have to worry about, you know, this or that. They get to do what they came to do, and that's take care of their patients. And that's what I look at when I look at EXP Realty. It's like, here's this umbrella, this web, this online brokerage where I get to go now and not have to worry about, you know, is my broker not doing this fairly? Or everything is transparent. It's publicly traded. I mean, there is so much support and help. If I can't make a meeting down the other cross town at a certain time, I can go online and I can watch the webinar. I can catch up. I mean, it's absolutely a phenomenal program. I can't imagine anyone in this industry not wanting to be a part of it. Now, I know it's probably not for everyone, but what I'm saying is it is for those who want to stay in the industry and want to be there ahead of the play instead of behind the play.
Yeah, and there's so much that's going to come out of you know, this entire COVID situation and things like that. And like you say, with people being at home, it's given, I think, a lot of agents a chance to sit back, like take a deep breath. And now it's okay, let me focus on my business rather than just being focused in it. So, you know, now they're getting the chance to kind of reevaluate things and look at things. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of new habits formed, you know, in this. I mean, what are we into this? 60 days now or so? I mean, yeah. So, I mean, you know, typically it's what, 30 days it takes for somebody to really form a new habit in their life and it sticks. So you're going to come out of this with a lot of, you know, people's habits and just how they do their day-to-day life. It's going to be very different. So, you know, that's going to come not only from the agent side, but from the consumer side as well. So, you know, going forward, a lot of the things that we're doing now coming out of this are going to stick. They're going to be around. Oh, yeah. Right. So that's probably going to be a lot of the communication, like, you know, you and I are having right now, as far as the Zooms and things like that. You know, you're probably going to see a lot more of the Zoom listing presentations, the buyer presentations. You know, and if agents use that correctly, you know, it's going to be to their advantage. And, you know, they're going to be able to cover more ground, right? It's less windshield time. And you even mentioned it with the classes. That's the biggest thing. I mean, EXP, you know, they're doing everything right at this point right now, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but, you know, our typical training schedule is, probably anywhere from 30 to 50 hours of live classes a week. During this pandemic, it's been like 70, 80, 90 hours a week. It's been incredible. So, and it's not having to drive across town and sit in a conference room full of a bunch, 50, 100, 200 people. It's, you can do it at home in your pajamas, drinking your coffee if you want.
Right.
So a lot of times people are a little more focused. They're better at taking notes. It's, you're not distracted by everything going on around you. Ultimately it's still up to them to take that knowledge and implement it, right? It's no good if it just sits there on the piece of paper. It's, the speed of what you can implement it often is going to dictate your success.
Yeah. I think the fact that it's agent owned is, to me, the single most attractive thing, because I sincerely believe that when people have ownership in something, then they're more vested, right? And it's
Absolutely
something that I explained to people before about the health insurance premiums. Employees had no idea what they were getting from their employers until their employers started, downsizing the plan or having them start to share in the premium, or they didn't like the plan, so they just left and they were going to go get health insurance on their own. And they'd be like, it's $2,000 for my family per month. That's more than my mortgage. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I hear that. But the reality is, if those employees had some type of knowledge of the full benefit that they were receiving, they may never have left, right?
Yeah,
so
that's a great point.
It's really super important, I think, for people to understand what EXP offers each individual agent right out of the gate. Now, I'm extremely excited. I tell people, I'm in the people business. So what I don't not take a listing, and maybe that's just me being new, but I believe if somebody's come across my path, I look at it that it was an appointed purpose. If I can't help them, I truly can't help them, they live too far away or whatever, I'll put them in touch with someone that can, maybe someone on the team, things like that. But I stumbled upon getting listings in mobile home park, and I didn't think that I was going to stay there. But what happens is news travels fast when you really take care of your client. So
Yep.
As I tell people, whether it's a $60,000 mobile home, a $600,000 family home, or a $6.6 million mansion out away that has spectacular things that you've got international buyers wanting to come in and investors to look at. To me, it's not the price of it, it's the people and what each one of those clients wants to achieve. That's what my goal is. So there's no one that's insignificant to me, and there's no one that's like, oh, I can't do that. That's a $6.6 million listing. I'm not qualified. Hey, I'm qualified because I'm in the people business. And I've also teamed myself up with people like yourself. And that's what I like about the EXP. We've got Don Yoakum.
With the group we have, I get it, whatever scenario you encounter, one of us has experienced it. Yeah. I mean, right. You run down it. Brent, right. 4,000 sales. He was the #1 agent with his previous company. Don, right. He was the guy that owned the companies, right. 30 of them in total, 5,000 agents he represented. Tom's done over 7,000 sales, Doug's done over 750 flips. There's not a scenario we haven't encountered, which is great. And you mentioned though, right, whether it's the $30,000 mobile home or the or the $6 million house, right? Every client you're treating the same, right? It's the same process. It's just on the marketing side, who we're directing or pushing that marketing in front of is different. But the process really isn't different.
Right.
It's just, there's little tweaks here and there. And it was one of the things I learned early on, and my dad kind of beat into me. It was, it was like, hey, every client, right, no matter who they are, you better treat them like gold, because what it is once that deal is done, you know, and if you've done it right, well, now you've got another cheerleader in the community, right? So, and the more cheerleaders you get out there, the better you're going to be off, right? So it's just treat everyone, you know, as best as you can, right? And integrity is the biggest part of this business. And just do what's right. It's not that hard, right? So sometimes you're going to have to do things that aren't in the benefit of yourself. And so what? I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've, you know, given up this or that to make deals work. And, you know, you become invested in those clients because, you know, you're truly trying to help them achieve what they want. And, you know, I personally probably get way too emotionally involved in my deals. I just, you know, it'll keep me up at night. But it's because I genuinely care. Like, it affects me personally.
Right.
And, you know, that's also the fun side of the business, right? Is being able to be that person that helps people, you know, through the process. And, you know, and oftentimes you're helping them, you know, achieve something, you know, that may have been a dream for a long time, or, you know, at the very least, it's something that they've worked very hard to achieve.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's been a true blessing for me. I just, I have another mobile home in escrow, and the blessing to me has been that this is somebody who's from out of state who lost their husband during this time, and has family here, and that's why they chose to move here. And I've become a part of this family, a part of this process. And to be honest, that's why I got into real estate, because people need a roof over their head.
Yep.
And they need to know that the person that's helping them do that has integrity and has a desire for them to be where they need to be. And that will help them find a way to do that as well. That's one of the things that I love, is challenges. So I tell people, they're like, oh, I'm not ready to buy yet. And I said, well, you know, what makes you say that? What makes you not ready to buy yet? And so let's form a plan, because I'm not going to just only market people that are like right now, within the next 30 days are going to buy, because quite honestly, I'm doing this for the long haul. So if I can help you work out a plan, I don't care whether you're going to buy 6 months from now, 9 months from now, a year from now. You probably didn't also plan on COVID-19 happening. So maybe your plans are going to change, right?
Yeah. And that's it. Like, sometimes, right, that's a knee-jerk reaction because people just don't know, right? They're arguing for their own limitations.
Right.
And so it's, yeah, let me give you something to strive or work towards. And often case, it's a lot easier than they anticipated it was.
It is.
Yeah. And that's why, you know, same thing, right? It comes from approaching everything with that mindset of service. And that's what gives you longevity in this business. I mean, it's why to this day, you know, 99% of my book of business it's repeat and referral clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that that's what it is that it, like you said, your dad said, is you need the more cheerleaders out there, right? And coming from a background of cheerleading, I think that's, you know, and I was the pep rally person and everything. I think that's really what it is. I really want to cheer for people to do better, to, you know, run the race, and winning is just crossing the finish line. I don't care, in my opinion, whatever your goals are, when you cross that finish line, it doesn't matter if your goal is different than someone else, or your personal best is different than someone else. Not comparing people to people, but just bringing out the best in each person and allowing them to achieve those goals. That's what I'm rooting for always.
Yep.
And I think there's a lot of people who think that they are not in the market, or they're not able to be in the market, or that they'll never own a home. And the other thing is that it's scary to own a home and have a mortgage. You know, in my opinion, it's scarier at the end of 2 years to have nothing to show for the $1,700 a month you were putting in rent for your family.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I have to pick up and move because they're raising my rent, I've got to move my family and incur the moving costs and everything like that. I should have just bought. Maybe it wasn't the neighborhood I wanted to be in at the time, but bought where I could afford to buy and qualify to buy, lived there for 2 years, and then pack because I wanted to pack, because I now have equity I can sell and move into the neighborhood that I want to be in. I have something to show for it, right?
Exactly.
So those are the things that I hope to be doing, and check in with you from time to time. I want to really encourage other agents. So there's some things that I'm going to be doing in my podcast, my YouTube channel. I'm on a fitness trek. This COVID has allowed me each month. So it's been 3 months. We've got March, April, and May. 10 pounds a month has come on. So I'm recovering. I'm reclaiming my life back now. I'm not going to wait. I'm definitely a person that's a people person. I love my classes where there's other people. I do better when I'm working with people, or I can encourage other people. So I literally have felt trapped. I'm reclaiming my life. That's why I set this up with you.
That.
I am here, and I'll reach out on Zoom. I'll do whatever I need to do. I rode my bike today.
We'll adapt.
yeah, I'll adapt. And that's what we're really good for. And this team environment and what EXP has to offer, I'm just so blessed and thankful that your sister, let me know that you were a part of this. And quite honestly, I knew you had a brokerage. And I was like, wait a minute. This is like a long-standing family that's been in real estate. And to leave a brokerage like that in a community where your name, I was like, there's got to be something to it, and my level of trust with you as a friend. So I know that there's some people out there who may be watching this and they don't know us personally, right? But I can tell you from the bottom of my heart that no matter who you talk to or reach out to, that EXP agents are going to tell you the same thing, is that this is about the agent. And when it's about the agent, and that's what I was going to share, that I've got my check that came in of my profit share, because I chose to do part of my money to go back in, and it has to be invested for 3 years, right? Or something like that.
Well, so yeah, no, I mean, you're in a couple different aspects, right? So you have your stock, and that's the biggest thing, right? Obviously being a company that's listed on NASDAQ,
right?
So yeah, you're probably talking to a couple of things. I mean, so one is, yeah, you're doing the agent equity program, right? Where they're taking a portion of your check and buying company stock at a discount. Right. And then the other aspect is your first closed deal. They're sending you stock for your first, every deal, your first closed deal per calendar year, you're getting company stock. So yeah, that's awesome, right? There's like 7 different ways in total that you can actually earn stock through the company, and earn it through what you're doing in the daily course of business anyways. And I'll take that over the little plaque or paper certificate that the other brokerages give you all day long.
Well, absolutely. And for the long haul too, again, real estate, I was slow at getting involved in it, even though I've been tracking it for the last 20 years and really wanting to move into this area as expanding my services. And but that residual income, that link was just, I just saw where, I'm going to be 97 years old, hobbling out to a country property, walking the field, the cattle field with them to show them that this is a good place to invest and raise their cattle. And the reality is that I didn't know, is that what I want to do? I mean, of course I want to be with people and working with people and helping people. If I want to do it and I can do it, I want that to be an option. But what if I can't? How do I have a residual income in real estate? And EXP fixed that. They really did, for the agent that's brand new, that's just coming in. So again, I just want to thank you for sharing the opportunity with me, for saying, yes, I'll mentor you. You've been phenomenal at supporting me. And I want to say this about you, is you're a great listener. And I think anyone who's a mentor or works with things, and I just am writing a little book on it, listening, L-I-S-T, right? Listening equals listings. Listening equals listings.
I love it.
Listening equals relationships, equals business, right? Because when somebody is heard and the response reflects that someone is really truly listening, that's where you build those relationships of integrity. And for our clients, for our fellow teammates, mentor, mentee, it's critical.
Yeah, it's getting right. It's getting deeper. It's helping find people's whys, right? What drives them, so that you know how to serve them appropriately. And you know, it all comes down to, right, everything being so agent centric, and I think that's the secret sauce in all of this. And quite frankly, what's really spurred this organic explosion of growth, and probably what nobody could have seen coming, is just the collaboration aspect, right? Now that everybody is aligned together, you know, this industry naturally, from an agent perspective, can be a little divisive. So I think that's been the most eye-awakening thing for everybody. And it seems like everybody I talk to, it's like, you know, what do you love most? What's been most surprising? And it always comes back to the collaboration aspect.
Absolutely.
And right, that's the part of the way things are structured, and the alignment, and just the overall culture, I would say, you know, from the top on down. And, you know, it's a rising tide lifts all ships, right? So, you know, that aspect of it is just fantastic. And that's a lot of where now our focus is, you know, Doug and I going forward is, you know, helping agents realize that, you know, and how they can build wealth beyond commissions, right? How do we get you to your why? How do we get you eventually off of that hamster wheel, so that you can find your freedom and go do what you want, right? And everybody's why is different. I mean, I know for me personally, it 100% just revolves around my family, right? My wife, my kids,
Absolutely.
my parents, my brother, my sister, and that's where my drive comes from. You know, and everybody's is a little different, but, you know, we want to dig deep, help agents find it, and help them get them there.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about this. And my why is very similar as well, right? It's family. And I think that I keep running into other people where that's their why too.
Yep.
And it's relationships are the key in life. I think that's why we were designed and why we were built. And so I'm hoping to offer a platform and a forum that people can check in with and be encouraged by. So I thank you for your time today. Next time I bring you in, I'm going to introduce you to a couple that are they're expecting, and they're living at home with family. And so they're wanting to get out on their own. They were saving their money, and one got laid off in the middle of this whole thing. And, you know, they were saving money up and stuff. So we're going to actually kind of do like a documentary on the process for them. So it's a really neat family, a really neat couple. And so I'm excited to be able to introduce them to you. I'll be meeting with them later tonight, kind of the same format, introducing them out to the world and kind of the journey that they're going to be taking. And then we're going to bring you in on the next one to just really kind of share some of your expertise and knowledge of people who have been in that very same boat, and kind of the steps and measures to take that leap of faith and to step off.
I'm excited about that. I think that I may have actually lived a very similar scenario hearing that story. So yeah. I know I'm excited to hear that. And Hayley, obviously we are incredibly thankful for you and, you know, the value that you do bring to the team and, you know, the value that you bring to your clients, right? And it's not just from a real estate side, but, you know, also from, you know, an emotional support type side. And you know, you're invested in this with every being in your body, and it shows, and it's going to take you a long way. So I'm excited what you're going to accomplish.
Well, I really appreciate that, and I know that people, especially now, really are looking for that, because like you said, we finally have time to sit down and kind of evaluate our jobs, our work, our family, because we're forced to.
Yes.
Right? And I think that that's been the blessing in all of this. The blessing has been to say, stop, wait a minute, what's really going on here? And how is my daily activities going to change forever from here forward? What's really important to me? And so that's that's what I'm hoping to be, is just a message of encouragement, and also helping people overcome challenges. So I'll have, obviously there'll be questions or different people that we'll interview and talk with, that may have some real hurdles, and we can kind of dispel the myths behind some of those, as that they're not that you can't, but maybe that you have to wait, or you need to do this first. And so I'm really helping to offer education, encouragement, and keep the ball rolling, right? To
I
not
love
stay,
it.
not stay stuck, and to not let anything that comes our way allow us to be traumatized to the point of fear, anxiety, and not being able to move forward. There is always hope, and you have to look to the light. You have to look to people who are out there offering that, and sometimes you have to step up and say, I need help. And that's why we're here, right? I mean, we're here to help.
Yep, absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask for it. But
Yeah.
I love it. I look forward to it. And obviously, Hayley, I'm here for whatever you need. So just, if you need it, reach out and we'll be on it.
Yep, I appreciate that. And Doug as well. You guys have both been very supportive. And I look forward to the next time that we talk in this format, but I'm sure I'll be texting you soon, because there's some things going on, and I'm excited for you and this listing that you have coming up. And I just always commit everything to prayer, and I know that the right person is going to come in and see what is actually there and the values that's there. And sometimes things are so unique that you can't really put a price tag on it. And comps in the area, it's sometimes that's not even doable, right? And so with that in mind, I have a lot of hope, and I'm excited for you to see how this takes off. And I've actually watched the videos of all the making of it, and I'm excited for you guys.
I appreciate it. Let's go get after it.
Okay, thanks. We'll talk
to you soon, Hayley.
All right, bye-bye.
All right.